Hello, hello. We are live today. I am so excited to chat with you guys. We are doing a full-on Q&A today, and this is just a chance for us to hang out. I love doing these Q&A sessions because it is a time for us to really make sure that you guys have your questions asked. I'm looking really quick. It looks like if my team is watching, it looks like this may only be streaming to YouTube right now. I'm not sure if it's streaming to our other communities. So just a heads up on that to our team. All right, so as we jump in, hi Pam, good to see you. Here's what I want to do. I love these Q&A times because this is a time for us just to dive in to whatever you are thinking about in your business. Where are you struggling? What are the challenges that you are facing? What questions do you have? What questions do you have about your business, about this next phase, about potentially starting a VA business, about growing it, about scaling it? That's what we're going to chat about here today. So of course I have to mention, if you haven't already, the SavvySystem doors are open. We have actually not done a big live launch like this since last January, where we opened the doors. We usually have hundreds of students. We've had over 100 students already join in this past weekend, which has been so phenomenal to welcome all the new faces. Some of you guys might even be joining us for this live stream today. So the SavvySystem, again, we only do these two really big promotional, these big 2-week launches twice a year. The next one won't be until January. So this is the absolute cheapest that you can get the SavvySystem for. It's the best discounts, it's the best bonuses, it's all that we pile into one big launch. And the reason why we do that is we really love to have a flood of students come in at once. Again, when you have 100 people all joining the course all at once, there's just a lot of momentum that happens, and that momentum we have found really propels people forward. It's a great way for us to just meet you guys' needs. To really, it almost feels like a cohort, like you guys are coming in all at the same time. Oh, I came in at the January, 2018 launch. I came in at the July 2020 launch, whatever it is. And there's a lot of cool friendships that form during that. So if you want in on this big, massive launch of people that are coming in all at once, go to SavvySystem.com. We've got some incredible bonuses. We've got all the information about our course, what it is. A little later today, we may take a look inside of the course. So you guys, if you are curious or if you have questions about the course, of course, drop them below and we will answer them here. Or if you have questions in general about your virtual assistant business, go ahead and drop those in the comments. We may be, we'll go through and we'll answer your questions individually. I may just go ahead and throw out some of the most common questions that we get as well. So let's just do a big hangout time and go ahead and let me know in the comments. I'd love to know kind of, who you are, where you're joining us from, and then also what questions do you have? What questions do you have about launching your virtual assistant business? I'm going to drop your questions. Hello, here we go. And again, I think we might have some people still coming over since this is only on YouTube right now, and it usually is other places as well. All right, one second. Let me drag this over here. Memento. Okay, here we go. Shantana, hey, it's so good to see you. I'm not getting things done. How do I help myself stay focused on one task till it is completed? Oh my goodness, such a good question. And so I love talking about time management. I love talking about focus management as well, because it's something that I'm actually not naturally very good at. I'm naturally kind of a ping ponger, an easily distracted person. And so there are a couple of things that have really helped me along the way, and I'd love to share some of those with you. So I think the old adage, what is it? Like, if you don't make a plan, you plan to fail. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And I'm a huge fan of that. And so the extra added time to plan out your day or to plan out your tasks is huge, in my opinion. A lot of times we can just see our running to-do list and it's like, oh my gosh, I have 100 things to do, right? I have so many things to do, so many things to do. And so we just kind of like pick one and we think, oh, okay, I'm going to work on this, and maybe I got this one thing done, but it doesn't feel like much, and maybe that wasn't the most priority, and it just makes you feeling, honestly, at the end of the day, like a failure, or you're hopping from one thing to the next without that focus, like you were mentioning. And so um, what I do that is really, really helpful for me is a ABC to-do list. Okay. And so you can do this, and this is not platform specific. So if you are a Trello user, you can do this in Trello. If you're a ClickUp user, you can use this, you can do this in ClickUp. If you are a pen and paper person, right? Like you can literally just write 3 columns and write A, B, and C. And so an ABC to-do list for me is really helpful because it helps me to prioritize what is most urgent and important, right? And so anything that is on my C list is the like, man, someday I would love to do this, but I know that it's not something I'm going to get to like this week or this month, but it still needs a place, right? Because it's holding a place in my brain. So if I get it out of my brain and get it onto like a Trello board or a ClickUp, list, or just pen and paper, then it's at least held somewhere. And so that's number one, I would say, is just the brain dump of all the things that you have to do. Put the C list. This is not happening now. The B list is okay. I think that I could get this done this week, or in the next 2 weeks, but it probably isn't going to happen, but it is really important. It's definitely more important than things on the C list, right? And then that A list is, this is the most vital and important. Like these things have to get done this week. Absolutely so. And so then that's what I do week by week, right? I plan out my ABC to-do list for the week. This is happening this week. This is not, this is probably won't, but it's still really important. Like it's on deck, right? And then C is, it's definitely not happening this week, but it still deserves to hold a space. So then on a daily basis, I start my morning every single morning with time blocking and a daily task list. So somebody mentioned time blocking. That is huge for me. Like if you look at my calendar, it is blocked. And this is, I tell my time where it's going to go, right? And so my husband and I actually every night we go through and we have like a little evening meeting and we go over each other's, because sometimes it's literally like, what do you got? What do I got? Who's taking the kids to school? Oh, what are we having for dinner? Did I take, chicken out of the freezer? So we have so we like just get on the same page about our daily time block too, right? It's like, these are the big chunks of when I'm going to work. Okay. Then every morning I have a daily task list. So it's a lot of structure, obviously, what I'm saying, but I'm telling you guys, this has caused me to really amp up my productivity. And what's great about amping up your productivity is it's also allowed me more time for rest, right? And so it's very rare that I work on Fridays anymore. My team has off on Fridays and I still find myself working on Fridays sometimes, because I will sometimes intentionally take another day off in the week and work on a Friday. But really, like, having that time and space again is only possible because I'm so strategic with the rest of the time that I have, right? And so every single day I have this daily little task list, and that's all the things that I know are going to be pinging in the back of my mind if I don't do them right away. So I start every morning with like prayer and journaling. So that's something that's like literally the very first thing on my list. And so I use this little journal called Penzu. It's probably not anything fancy. It's Penzu, but it's literally just this like digital journal that you can lock with a password. And so it feels like a real diary. So I will like journal and listen to some music in the morning, like do some prayers, things like that. And then the next thing is I will check our Slack channel. I will check my email. I won't maybe respond to emails, but I will check them. Is there anything urgent, right? I just check all the little urgent things. If there is something urgent, I make sure I'm going to add it to my A list, right? Like, oh, that's something I've got to do today, right? And then I'm able to plan out and say, okay, what's going to happen on a given day? And I think this is really important, guys. On a given day, I can usually accomplish like 3 big things or less. Like sometimes I can accomplish one really, really big thing. Today we had our team meetings. Team meetings took up most of the morning. I'm doing this live stream, and then I'm probably going to talk about like some financials with my COO. Like that's probably going to be it for the whole day. And I think some of us are so hard on ourselves because we're just expecting ourselves to do way, 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 way beyond what is actually manageable. And it actually does take time to do the things, you know, so you have to set aside the appropriate amount of time to actually do those tasks. So I hope that's helpful. Again, ABC to-do list, a time blocking, and if you have you know, a nightly meeting, sometimes if you have a spouse, like to get on the same page about your next day, and then a daily like a daily checklist is something that's the time and like productivity method that I have found, and then you just stick to it, right? Like I live and die by the schedule. Doesn't mean that I can't move it, right? Sometimes I'm like, that's not going to work anymore, so I'll move it to a different place. But I'm moving it. I'm not just like letting it slip through my fingers, if that makes sense. Okay, more questions. If you guys are just now joining us, I know we had a little bit of a slow start. This is not connecting over on Facebook, so I think that we're only on YouTube right now. So hopefully my team is like dropping links over to that. But if you guys have questions about the SavvySystem, which is open right now, or just any other questions that you have, I am here to answer them. This is just a Q&A time to hang out and answer any questions that you have. Sharon, hello, I'm always a fan of the SavvySystem. How many times a year do you give these discounts? So the SavvySystem twice a year is when we do these big sales. And so right now, September, we usually do them in July, but we decided to try it in September this year. Just honestly, we gave the team the summer off, which was really fun. Not off, but off from doing launches, which is a lot of stress on our team sometimes. So we were like, let's do September and July. So we are doing this big discounted launch right now, and then we will do another one in January as well. Let's see, any other questions? Oh, Susan uses Pensu also. I was like, it's not like a software that gets talked about a lot, and I don't even know how I stumbled upon it. I don't think it's probably been updated for like 10 years. Like it's so not fancy, but sometimes the non-fancy software is my favorite. Emma, I have to wait to start working with clients until 2024. What could I do to build a foundation before them? For example, social media presence, or maybe make a wait list. Oh my goodness, Emma, this is such a good question. I actually, I was talking with somebody just like in Instagram DMs the other day about, they were kind of asking, you know, hey, like I can't actually start my business until, I think she was a student, and so she wasn't going to be able to start it until like winter break. She's like, so should I wait to buy or not? I was like, well, number one, we won't do this again until January. So if you're wanting to work on it in December, now would be the time to get it if you're getting all the discounts. However, there's also a lot before you're like, she didn't feel comfortable getting clients until then. I was like, there's a lot that you can be doing actually in the meantime before you're ready to actually get clients. So let me pull up, if I can really quickly, it's going to take me 1 second. So just hold on. What I'm going to do, because I think this goes really well with something that I wanted to show you guys. What I want to do is I want to show you inside the SavvySystem. Would you guys like to see inside the SavvySystem if you're not already a SavvySystem student? This is the course that we've been talking about. So this is the SavvySystem, and why I'm going to show you this is because I want to show you some of the things that you can be doing in your business before you actually start getting clients, right? So I'm going to share my screen really quick. There it is. Okay. Yeah, I see this. Okay. So this is what it looks like when you log in. So when you purchase a SavvySystem, you get access to 121 lessons, 14 modules. And so there's a lot of activities that you can be working on while you are getting ready to launch, right? If you haven't already chosen your services, choose your virtual assistant services, decide if you're going to niche down to a certain industry or not. You can package your pricing, you package your services, make sure you have your pricing all set, right? And then you can start creating your actual brand, right? What is your business name going to be? Have you made sure that business name isn't trademarked yet? What's your brand colors going to be, right? What's all of that going to look like? You can go ahead and pre-make a lot of social media images. Even if you're not ready to start posting those social media images, you can go ahead and start creating them and scheduling them even in the future. Have a stockpile. I mean, you could literally have your social media for like a year already planned out, right? Any of the legal elements of your business, any of your processes. So when a client says yes to me, then what's going to happen, right? Those are your processes. So your processes are, what does a discovery call look like? What does onboarding look like? What does it look like to send that client a contract? How are we going to communicate on a regular basis? What's our communication? All of the systems that are happening in the background, right? How am I going to send invoices? We suggest having like a P&L worksheet, which is essentially your profit and loss. So it's a place where you're recording all the money that's coming in and all the money that's coming out. And that's going to be really, really helpful for doing your taxes at the end of the year, making sure that you have a contract, that your contract is legal. Please, please, please work with a contract, right? So having all of that in place is super, super important, and things that you should all have in place before you start working with clients. So it's actually in lesson 8 of our course that we start getting you out there, getting marketing going. Now, there's a few things that you can do before, and we teach that inside the course. There's like a Get Clients Now section where you can, before you have all of this in place, go ahead and start the marketing ball rolling. But if you don't plan to get clients yet, make sure that you are just building the firmest foundation, right? Like that you are building up just a super strong foundation that your business is going to sit upon once you are ready to start marketing. Now, I also think you were saying, like, should I go ahead and start posting on social, doing a wait list, things like that? I do not think there is anything negative about getting that marketing ball rolling now, right? So especially if you have an official launch date, if you're like, hey, in January of 2024, I'm going to start accepting clients for XYZ, how phenomenal would it be to go ahead and have a wait list for that, to go ahead and have clients even potentially signed up? I mean, I think you could sign clients as soon as, November for that. And it's almost October, right? So like really getting people in place, going ahead and starting all of your marketing, starting getting that wait list going. The sooner you start that marketing ball rolling, the better it's going to be for anyone, not just you, for anyone in their business. I am just a huge fan of marketing and marketing early. So I hope that helps answer your questions. What other questions do you guys have? What questions do you have about launching your virtual assistant business, about the Savvy system? I would love to answer them here. Go ahead and drop those questions below. Let's see here. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm just reading some of the comments. Shannon saw about your job. I'm so sorry about that. That's really tough. Is LinkedIn, this is a good question, is LinkedIn a place to get clients? Yes. Okay. Would I do LinkedIn Premium? So I think that LinkedIn is a great place to get clients. There are LinkedIn strategies where you go in and just like any other platform, the key is relationships, right? There's definitely, you can, okay. So any social media channel is going to be these two things: authority building and relationships. Okay. So there are 2 ways to build a social channel. And I suggest that you do both of them, but that you place more emphasis on one than the other. Okay. So when it comes to any channel, whether it's you have an Instagram, whether you have a TikTok, whether you are on LinkedIn, whether you have a Facebook group, right? Any type of social channel is a potential place for you to build authority, right? And so how do you build authority? It is through creating content. And so I think that, having a regular posting schedule, it's I am live here in on our Facebook page and in our Facebook group every single week, because I want you guys to see, like, hey, I'm here. I'm the owner of this group, right? Like, I'm building trust. I'm building authority with you guys in a sense, right? And not, that sounds weird when I say it that way, but you guys know, like, oh, Abby's a person who can answer these questions for me, right? Just like on Instagram, hey, I'm putting out socials. On LinkedIn, you can do the same thing. LinkedIn, a lot of times is like, you can publish like articles on LinkedIn, which really can you be seen as like an authority figure in that space. Okay, that is the authority side. The relationship side of social media, I believe, for virtual assistants and service providers is where you should actually start. So I'm not saying you should never post content. That's great. And if you're on Instagram and you're like, I'm posting 5 times a day and I still don't have any clients, it's probably because you're missing the relationship part of it. You're only doing the authority side, which is great, but it takes a lot of time. It takes time and consistency to build authority. So it's going to take a really long time to build an audience of people for you to be seen as the source of this information, right? What doesn't take as much time because it's one-to-one and like it doesn't take as long to develop are these relationships on social. And so if you can use Facebook groups as a place to build relationships and start having one-on-one conversations. If you can use Instagram as a place to build relationships, have one-on-one conversations. If you can use LinkedIn as a place to build relationships, have one-on-one conversations, that's where the gold is, I believe, in social channels for people just starting out. Should you do the other too? Yes. I'm not saying don't post 3 times a week or whatever on Instagram, right? I'm not saying don't have some kind of a posting schedule that you do on LinkedIn also. I'm saying the key of your efforts doesn't need to be to build a huge audience. It just needs to be to build relationships, because you only need 4 to 7 clients. You don't need 100,000 followers on Instagram to have a profitable virtual assistant business. You need 7 people to say yes. You need 4 people potentially to say yes to your monthly packages in order to replace your income, right? So it's so much more about building relationships and just getting those 4 yeses than building a massive audience. So the question was about LinkedIn, but I just wanted you to I wanted to pull back 3 steps further to give you kind of my mindset on social strategy for service providers in general, because I think it's really important. I think it's where some of us miss the mark because we focus so much on like the authority building place and like, I just got to post, I got to post, I got to post, I got to post. And then you look and you're like, 3 people saw these posts, right? And I got no clients out of 3 months of posting consistently, right? And it's because we're not doing the other side of the coin, which I think is actually the more important side to start with, which is building relationships. Okay. So the question is LinkedIn a right place to get clients? Yes. If you enjoy that platform, it is a phenomenal place to get clients. How would you do it? You would build relationship and be consistent. So I would develop some kind of a posting schedule. It could, on LinkedIn, it could be as little as like once a week. Okay. It could be like a really great article or something that you publish, something that you share. And the rest of the time, you need to be getting into groups. You need to be, there are actual jobs on LinkedIn that you can apply for. So you can be applying for remote jobs. And then you need to be finding your ideal clients, talking to them, asking them their pain points, having coffee chats. That's what's going to make the difference over on LinkedIn. Okay. You don't need premium to do that. Once you get into LinkedIn, and if you say, this is my channel, like this is where I want to be, you might find that some of the premium features will aid you in being able to film to optimize that platform. But I would say don't invest in it yet until you've really decided this is the platform I want to go all in on. Okay. That's another thing. And this will be my last little horse that or my last horse that I die on, right? Like, this is the thing. I personally, I actually had somebody ask me this the other day. They're like, Abby, like, I've been told 2 different things. Like, you should really, really focus in on one social media channel, or they're like, don't put your eggs all in one basket. You need to kind of be a little bit of everywhere. I disagree with you need to be a little bit of everywhere. I think that if I was a massive company, right? Like if I am Nike, or I am, like, I don't know, Doritos, some like massive brand. Yes, we probably need to be a little bit of everywhere because I have a team, I have massive marketing teams to be everywhere. you are one person most likely. Even if you have a team, you are probably 1 to 2 or 3 people, right? Like you you should not be everywhere because you can't be everywhere well. I would rather you just be one place really, really, really well, and show up there in the best way possible than to try to be everywhere, right? So choose one platform. Choose one platform. And it doesn't even have to be a social platform, right? Like it could be Facebook groups, it could be live networking events, right? It could be starting your own networking event. It could be like there's so many places that you could just be and say, I'm going to go all in with this marketing strategy and just test it out for a couple weeks. Do you like it? Do you not like it? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it? Dive in. Feel like you're at 90% with that strategy. And then if you're like, okay, this is working, I'm getting some clients this way, could I press it? Is there anything more I could do? If you're like, no, I'm really optimizing the strategy, then add another one. It's literally what we did here at the Virtual Savvy even. Like I started out by just blogging and doing Pinterest, which I guess it sounds like two, but it was really just one strategy. Like I would write blogs that I would promote on Pinterest, right? And that was it. And I did that for years and years and years. And then it was like, and then once I felt like I've got a system, like this happens almost on autopilot because it's so systematized, then I added a Facebook group. And once that got really systematized, then we added YouTube. And that's like one of our main sources now of like me being an authority figure on virtual assistants, is because I just really said, let's do one of these at a time really, really well. We could be 100 other places. We could have a podcast. We could be on TikTok. We could, be, I don't know, does Clubhouse even exist anymore? Like we could be 100 different places. We could be doing conferences. We could be all these different things, but we don't do it all, because if I did it all, even with our team of 10 people, we still couldn't do it well, right? And so if we're going to do something, let's do it really, really well, is more my strategy. These are great questions. Oh, Emma, how do you build relationships without coming off as desperate? This is a really good question. And I think that, one of our mentalities here at the Virtual Savvy is just value first, right? So how do you build value first is this idea of like, I'm here to give, right? Like I am here to give something without necessarily needing anything in return. And so value first can look different depending on what social channel you're on. I believe that in Facebook groups, a great way to show value first is that if somebody is asking like, hey, my website isn't really converting very well. Do any of you guys work on websites? You could totally just shoot over your portfolio if that's something that you do, web design or you work on websites. You could shoot over your portfolio, or you could shoot a 3-minute video on Loom or some other kind of video recording tool where you're going through their website and saying like, hey, I see that you could optimize this. Ooh, I would change this. Here's this idea. I'd put a call to action here. It looks like this link is broken. Like, you're giving something without asking anything for return. And most often that's when people go, oh, wow, I have to pay extra attention to this person, right? And that's how you make yourself stand out. And so what way can you provide value? Look for people who are asking questions, look for people who need help, and then just provide that value for them. I believe that that is one of the best ways to build relationships, is by showing I'm not just here to get, right? I'm not just here to get, I'm actually here to give. And so I think that it's the difference too between, I could apply for 100 job opportunities, or I could just really, like maybe not 100. Let's say in a given day, I have 2 hours set aside to market. Okay. So in 2 hours, I could probably apply for like 10 job ops, right? Like I could go in and I could boom, 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 apply for 10 of them. Rather than applying for 10, what if I just chose 2 people and like spent an hour each, right? If I have 2 hours to market, I spent an entire hour crafting something phenomenal for my dream client. Like I spent an hour drafting these 5 emails that I think your students are probably answering, and these could be templates for you potentially. Or I spent an hour creating these 20 Pinterest images that I just wanted to give to you for free. Like, I know that sounds crazy, guys, and it's not doing work for free. Like, that's not what I'm asking you to do. For somebody who like if somebody's like, hey, I want you to work for me, but I can't pay you, please don't do that, because that person will never be your dream client. This is different. Like, this is different. This is you showing some kind of value up front so that this person goes, ooh, I need to pay attention to this person. You also don't have to do this forever, right? I believe this is the great strategy for getting new clients, for like when you're just getting started. This is how you get people to pay attention to you when you don't have referrals, when you don't have a big list of testimonials. This is the strategy that works when you're new. Okay. I hope that that's helpful. Um, Yay, good, good, good. I'm so glad that that is helpful for you guys. All right, let's do this. I want to go ahead again and drop the SavvySystem link here for you, because as a reminder, the SavvySystem is open for enrollment. I am super pumped about it because we've already let in, I think, like 128 students into it. We are building momentum together. We are so excited about it. And the Virtual Savvy is a great program if you are needing a step-by-step blueprint for launching your virtual assistant business. So if that is something that you are needing, I highly suggest you check it out. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee on the Pro and Ultimate version, 7 for the standard version. And the cool thing about that is that there's literally no risk to get started. You can jump in, check out the course, and for any reason, if you're just like, I don't like the way your face looks, then you literally can ask for a refund. Whereas we just have one of the most generous refund policies that exist, because we just really stand by our product. Like, we truly believe in this thing, and we know that if you get in and you get your hands in the SavvySystem, that it really, really works. So for any of you guys who have been on the fence, who have been thinking about it, I highly suggest that you jump in, check it out. It's phenomenal. And the doors are open until next, let me make sure I have it open, until next Thursday. So until the 28th. Well, it will stay open, but these huge discounts that we're doing. So the sale promotion period ends on the 28th. So if you're going to get in, this is definitely the time. It's literally hundreds of dollars in savings to join during this time. So check it out. If you guys have questions, my team and I are obviously here to support you. We're generally available via chat over there, or you can always email our team at hello@thevirtualsavvy.com. Okay, guys, awesome. Well, that's it for today. Thank you guys so much for coming on and hanging out with me during this Q&A time. And we have a fun special live stream happening on Thursday night as well. So that is Joe the Critic. So we actually have one of our a student of the program, but who is also now our director of product. Her and her husband are coming on live. They are hilarious. They are such a fun couple to watch. But we really go through some of the tough questions, and this is a great live stream to bring your spouse to if they are somewhat maybe skeptical of this new endeavor. It's just a really great place to ask the hard questions. So Rachel and Joe the Critic, he's okay with us calling him that. He's a challenger. He's the like, you got to prove this to me type of person. And it's just a really fun live stream that we do. So make sure that you check that out this Thursday. Okay, guys? Yeah, we will see you next time. Bye.